Hi everyone and welcome to a new episode of Days Podcast along with a new video. I want to thank you guys so much for liking, subscribing, viewing, watching, and listening. I truly appreciate it. We do have a whole list on what we will be talking about on Patreon and Spotify for exclusive episodes and videos on there. I am diligently working on them as we speak, but I just want to make sure you guys have free episodes as we do that. So we will be talking about 112 with their second studio album. Let's get into that. So, Room 112 is the second studio album by the American R&B quartet 112, released in 1998, October 27th, 1998 to be exact. It was recorded between 1997 and 1998, clearly because if you go and check out where I talked about their debut, 112, there were a lot of people coming out when they came out. Aaliyah came out with One in a Million 2 weeks prior to their debut, as opposed to Little Kim and Foxy and a lot of people by the end of 96, where even into 97 when you're having, wait a minute, didn't Tony come back with Secrets in 96? Like, there was so much going on. Mariah Carey and Janet were back to back in 97, so it's just, as they're recording, they're hearing that, there's just, listen, everybody was busy in the 90s, everybody, okay? So, the album features label mate Mase, okay? He had a release too, he had an album, and a few actually, and Faith Evans, and of course, she had an album by 98 as well. She also had her album in 95, which we will talk about Faith Evans too. I want to talk about everybody, okay? That's what we do on this channel. It also features Little Kim, Little Zayn, and MJG. The two singles, Love Me, featuring Mase, and Anywhere, featuring Little Zayn, charted at number 17 and number 15 on the Billboard Hot 100, respectively. So that's good. As far as being in the top 20, that is good. I know there are very much higher expectations where it's like, no, they need to be in the top 5. No, every week when they talk about that list in the top 10, they need to be right there. If they're not there, they're not selling, they're not great. No, they'll know if they can't do it within months, they're never gonna do it. Like, y'all need to you should see how people really do people, artists, and the way that y'all, I'm not saying everybody, but there are just some people that will literally be in fan wars. Like, you can't not see it. It's just there. But you guys know this channel that watch me, or if you guys are new to this channel, you guys will know I am a very unbiased individual. I am not going to not give anyone credit, and I am not going to not say that someone doesn't need it. Okay? I'm going to let people know, listen, this is right and this is wrong, and that's, we got to keep it real around here, always. I'm always going to honestly say when someone does need credit. I don't think I ever not say when things don't not need credit, but I just think that for what it's worth, this is credible. Like, I think that for anyone to be in the top 20 is great. A lot of times there are singles that chart really in the back, like 80s, 60s, 70s, even in like 97. Like, they'll make a breakthrough even just with that. And even when you chart just like that, it's like, well, wait, that's being heard somewhere consistently and may rise from streams and stuff, watching their videos. And at this time in 98, there wasn't that. No, you bought the single or you bought the album. And if you bought it multiple times, that's why the chart placements were there. That's what it was back in the day. So it's just, I come from a time, and as I am unbiased, I come from a time where you didn't rely on someone's opinion. Your purchase was your opinion. Okay? You didn't rely on if the video was great from someone else seeing it 10 different times. When the video showed and you liked it, you went and said, I'm gonna go and buy that album, or what, like whatever captivated you from whatever they marketed at that time. It didn't have to take much for the average consumer as it does now. Nowadays, y'all need every damn thing. And it's not a bad thing, because you want to put the artist to work. You want them to feel as though, hey, you know what? I could do better next time. You want them to feel like that, because then when they really come out and give out more and say, I'm going to tour here and tour there, that's when you can say with your purchase, like, you know, I support this person and I want them to chart. But I will, yes, again, saying that 17 and 15 is bad is wild, because there are people, sad to say, that had songs that charted even lower, like not, well, they charted, yeah, the word is lower, they were in the 30s or the 40s or something with a song. And you know, even if I had liked the song, I would feel like, well, maybe they didn't get to have enough people listening. And then there's people that say, well, no, it's not a good song. And it's like, well, if it's not a good song to you, and there's more than 8 billion people in the world, and only so many subscribers or followers on whatever platform to stream, you can't really say it's all 8 billion people. If it's 1 billion people, that's shocking, because they have to subscribe to the platform itself. I mean, they could just listen to it and not everybody would subscribe to the platform, but there's just more and more now where people are like understanding, like, okay, if I am on Apple Music, or if I'm using Spotify, or if I have a YouTube account, or even if I'm hearing it on anything other than, it shows residuals. Okay. Anyway, yeah, Entertainment Weekly wrote 112 can't seem to decide whether they want to woo the ladies or beat up the competition. Or beat up on the competition. It's a choice that could make or break them in the future. Or beat up on the competition. What does that mean? So, like, I guess from what they're trying to say is that, yeah. At first I was trying to, like, understand it from a different, like, perception, but it's all coming the same. Like I was saying in the beginning of this video, like, if anything, they wanted to push this particular second album, because there were so many albums coming out back to back and people were literally out and about. It did get a B from Entertainment Weekly. It didn't do so well with AllMusic. We'll understand why in a moment. Let's look at the track list. So track 1 is Room 112 intro. Track 2 is So Much Love interlude. Track 3, Be With You. Track 4, Love Me featuring Mace. Track 5, The Only One featuring Lil' Kim. Track 6, Anywhere interlude. Track 7, Anywhere featuring Lil Zane. So I love Anywhere. I love Love You Like I Did. Track 8. Yes, I love that song too. Track 9, For a While, featuring Faith Evans. Track 10, Don't Go Away, interlude. Track 11, Stay With Me. Track 12, What You Gonna Do, featuring MJG, I'm sorry. Track 13, Crazy Over You. Track 14, Funny Feelings. Track 15, Nevermind. Track 16, Someone to Hold. So yeah, that's another pattern as far as in the 90s that you'll see. Whether it's groups or singers, there had to be at least 16 tracks. Like, we're giving you music. I mean, at least there had to be 14 at most. Like, I mean, there was close to 15, but I mean, there were some albums that may have had 12 or 13 tracks, but by the mid to late 90s, you was trying to really give like 17, 18, 19. Okay. But yes, track 17, All My Love. Track 18, You Are the Only One, interlude. And then track 19, Your Letter. I do want to see as far as with their track listing and charts. So yeah, again, This is not going to be nothing that's not going to be familiar, because with certain artists that we may not be always talking about, Wikipedia or any other site will always kind of give a paragraph or two, but not always if it comes to certain albums. I always look at all different sources, but then again, I always try to keep it simple. Yeah, they charted at number 20 on the Billboard 200. So that is higher than what they did with their debut. And then the U.S. Top R&B Hip Hop Albums chart, they charted at number 6. So they was number 5 for their debut, and now they're number 6 when it comes to this particular chart, which isn't bad. It's kind of just saying, like, you know, you guys are kind of in the same realm, but a little bit better than where you were not even 2 years ago. Yeah, they sold and went double platinum. Trying to think. Yeah, so the year end charts for for 1999, they were on Billboard 200 for it being 65. And then the top R&B hip hop albums, they were on number 18. So yeah, they were much higher on chart placements this particular album than their first. Not to say that things wouldn't have been better, but of course, like we said in the beginning, there was all these different artists and all these different albums coming out, and this was an album where they just wanted to make sure they were out there to tour and promote too. And I believe they took some time off after this. Yeah, when it comes to the Part 3 album. So, yeah, when Part 3 came out, their third studio album, they started working on that in November 2000. So they took some time off. We will talk about that album in the future. But, yeah, guys, I want to say thank you guys so much for listening and watching, and I'll be back with more.